Au festival des jeux de Cannes. Au festival des jeux de Cannes.
Salut, bienvenue de retour ici. Merci Guillaume pour cette introduction de qualité. Nous nous trouvons effectivement en compagnie de Jeff Richards. Hi Jeff.
Hello, it's great to be here.
Comment vas-tu?
I am the chair and creative director of Chaosium Inc. We are the publishers of Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Pendragon, and 7C, as well as various other sundry projects.
Ce qui veut dire donc que tu vas très bien. You're doing very fine then. You were just mentioning everything that the different projects you're working on.
Yes.
One of my original questions was, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said, who are you? I'm sorry.
That's fine.
To the studio audience.
Tout va bien.
Pardon for my near illiteracy en français.
Tout va très bien. Comme je le disais, ça veut dire que tu vas très bien. You're doing very well then because you're working on all these amazing projects you're going to tell us a bit more about.
Yeah, well, I'm sure an awful lot of people here are watching this are familiar with Call of Cthulhu, which is the classic role-playing game of the Cthulhu mythos.
Beaucoup des gens qui nous regardent sont certainement familiers avec le jeu de rôle L'Appel de Cthulhu, qui est un des grands classiques tiré donc de H.P. Lovecraft.
And we are so delighted to be working with Edge on the new French edition for the 7th edition. I was looking at some of the advanced sheets on it, and it looks absolutely beautiful. They have done an amazing job. I'm very jealous.
Et Jeff est très heureux de travailler avec Chaosium sur sur la version française de Cthulhu. Il a commencé à avoir certaines des images qui ont été produites pour cette version française et il est jaloux de ne pas les avoir lui.
and the other thing I'm really excited about being here at Con is to see the return of RuneQuest, which was actually the role-playing game that started Chaosium and started all of our role-playing games, and it is coming back to French with Studio Dead Crows.
Okay.
And it looks also wonderful.
Maybe I missed the point.
Je vais traduire ça d'abord.
Sorry.
Aussi la raison pour laquelle il est très heureux d'être à Cannes, c'est de voir le retour de RuneQuest, qui était le jeu de rôle qui a lancé en fait Chaosium à l'origine et qui est de retour en France maintenant. Et donc Jeff est delighted.
Yes.
Vas-y Guillaume.
Sorry, I think I made a mistake just when I talk about that. I think Chaosium come with Glorantha. No, that's RuneQuest?
That's RuneQuest and Glorantha.
Is that both of them?
Donc Chaosium, c'est RuneQuest et Gloriantha.
So RuneQuest is the rule system for the setting that is Glorantha. Now Glorantha is also done with, we've got a rules light system for it called HeroQuest. We have the 13th Age in Glorantha product. We also have the King of Dragon Pass and 6 Ages computer game. And then Sandy Peterson who's part of Chaosium but has his own. I've got to remember to keep this closer. Sandy's got his God's War board games, which are also set in Glorantha. So.
Donc RuneQuest en fait est un système de règles qui va s'appliquer à plein de modules différents que Jeff vient d'énumérer et que je n'ai pas tous retenus, mais notamment Gloriantha. Voilà, je suis sûr que vous pourrez trouver beaucoup d'informations online. You can find lots of information about all the systems.
You can find everything at chaosium.com.
Voilà, sur chaosium.com, toutes les informations et tout ce que vous pouvez trouver qui se branchera sur le système de règles de RuneQuest.
Okay, just to talk a bit about RuneQuest. When I was young, that's why I'm here.
Last week,
No,
right?
no. Okay, that means you're as young as me. That's great. Okay, when I was young, I played Middle-earth role-playing game. MERP. And then I discovered RuneQuest. And then I said, okay, there is different way of playing role-playing game. That means with a complex one or a lighter one. What about now the way you think the best way to practice role-playing game with a mechanic and heavy system or
I'm going to be really, I'm going to be
Quelle est la tendance moderne dans les jeux de société? Les jeux de règles complexes ou plutôt des mécanismes plus légers, plus simples, comme on a pu se voir développer dernièrement?
All right, I'm going to be a heretic about all of this. I actually don't think it is a tremendous difference between crunchy rules and light rules. Okay. What really matters to me in RPG design is, do the rules facilitate the players and the GM being able to have interesting stories that reinforce good play. So if you look at RuneQuest or you look at Pendragon or Call of Cthulhu, in all of those, the rules system reinforces and rewards you for role-playing.
Okay.
And so, you know, for instance, some of the most fun you have in Cthulhu is when you go insane, right? The rules ties into that. Same thing with RuneQuest, with the runes and the passions, or with Pendragon. And as we've developed, and forgive me for speaking too long on this, but,
maybe we're going to talk it in English and then don't translate
That's
anymore.
All right. I got a condensed summary in my head, so we're good. Go ahead, please.
Oh, you know, as games have designed, game design has changed over the years. I don't think that we have really reinvented the wheel tremendously much in the last 20, 30 years. It's been like an analogy that I gave is to automobiles. All the basic parts have been in place since the 80s. It's now, what do we do with those parts? And how do we assemble them in a way that's easier to use?
Donc, si je reprends un petit peu depuis le début,
And now it's your
on
job.
a eu le fait qu'en réalité la complexité du système de règles n'était pas si importante. L'important c'était vraiment de voir à quel point est-ce que ce système de règles nourrissait le plaisir que prenaient à la fois les joueurs et joueuses et le DM, le Dungeon Master, dans la prise de décision, le fait de vivre des aventures, etc. J'avoue que la deuxième partie, j'ai des... En fait, c'était un petit peu ça. C'était un peu comme dans le burger de la mort. J'ai essayé de retenir la première. Non, qu'est-ce qu'on a dit notamment que oui, voilà. Par exemple, dans l'appel de Cthulhu, un des trucs les plus sympas qui peut nous arriver, c'est quand on devient fou.
C'est ça.
Je me souviens d'une partie où j'ai mangé Edmond le pêcheur breton. C'était parfait. Donc effectivement, c'est ce type d'originalité dans les systèmes de règles qui parfois peuvent alourdir, mais qui aussi rendent l'expérience de jeu si spécifique, qui compte réellement.
Wow. Mathilde,
Wow.
Like, do you prefer we just talk in English or continue to translate?
Je pense que pour les gens qui ne parlent pas anglais, c'est bien d'avoir un résumé que j'essaierai de garder rapide.
Super. On essaie de faire au plus court, shorter.
Non, l'important c'est que votre discussion soit intéressante.
Mais non, parce que tu as peut-être aussi des questions. Maybe you have questions, Jeff.
Okay, so yes, I do have questions.
Excellent.
Awesome. What is Cannes like for you? Because this is the Cannes of Jeff Richards.
I've never been, so I have been to, obviously, the city of Cannes before. I have never been to the festival here until this year. This is my first one. And I am blown away. This is amazing, an amazing festival. This is a golden age for French role-playing games. I mean, you in the studio audience, be aware you are in the golden age. I have seen an unbelievable number of amazing games, settings, new companies. It's very exciting, and it is a much bigger event than I had any idea. So
c'est donc la première
I'm blown away, guys.
C'est la première fois que Jeff vient à Cannes, en tout cas au festival des jeux de Cannes. Il est impressionné par l'ampleur et la qualité de l'événement. Il pense que c'est un âge d'or des jeux de rôle aussi. Et il nous conseille à nous de nous tapoter l'épaule en nous disant on a bien de la chance de vivre dans cette époque de l'âge d'or. C'est un événement qui est beaucoup plus grand et important que ce qu'il pensait être à la base. And so what are your days like? What What do you just walk around the alleys, have a look at the
I have a babysitter who tells me precisely
All right,
what to
he's
do
over there.
and when, right here. And so my days are what it's told to be. But I get a little bit of a time because he's a kind person, a little bit of time to wander around and see the booths. And one of the things I absolutely love checking out is French game design, the commitment to the visual quality of the book and the art is just always a delight to see.
Quelque chose qu'il est très agréable d'observer ici dans les allées dans lesquelles il se balade, c'est le design et l'art, la qualité des illustrations qu'il peut observer notamment dans les allées de Cannes.
And the last thing I'd really like to say on that is, my God, the food is so much better than Indianapolis.
Est-ce que j'ai vraiment besoin de traduire ça? La nourriture est tellement meilleure ici. One last thing, maybe. I think we're running kind of out of time.
Really?
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close.
Maybe we can cut off a bit, 5 minutes.
I don't know. You see this with Florian in the
maybe
regie,
we
not
can
my problem.
cut off 5 minutes on
What is for you? So I guess you went to Gen Con before.
We go to Gen Con every year.
How would you compare Cannes to Gen Con?
Well, okay, so Gen Con is basically it is the high holy day of the RPG industry, and there's nothing like Gen Con. But this is a comparable it's not as big as Gen Con, but it is not a insignificant event compared to Gen Con. And it's much more civilized. Gen Con, there is a constant dull roar of the sound. We couldn't even have this interview at Gen Con. The sound is so loud there.
Okay.
But this is a absolutely fantastic event, and I will definitely be coming back here.
Oh,
Donc la Gen Con est un jour très important dans l'industrie du jeu de rôle, et notamment évidemment aux États-Unis. C'est la Gen Con et rien n'est comparable globalement. Mais cet événement ici est plus, et je le cite, ce n'est pas moi qui ai dit ce mot, plus civilisé. C'est-à-dire qu'on a un ensemble enfin peut-être moins de monde dans les allées, j'imagine, moins de mouvements, de passages, moins cette impression de masse humaine. Et en tout cas, Jeff nous garantit qu'il est très heureux d'être là et qu'il reviendra sans aucun doute à Cannes.
Okay.
Guillaume, j'ai une excellente nouvelle pour toi. Nous avons eu une prolongation de 100 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Je t'en prie.
Okay. I just would like to ask you a few questions about the way, because if we talk the history of the RPG, you are at quite the beginning of the history. That means I said, okay, of course there is Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, okay, and Gary Gygax, and that's great. It's not no problem. The point is, you are with Chaosium at maybe the second, the third, I don't know.
We are
publisher.
the second oldest surviving publisher in the RPG industry. Our first RPG came out in 1978.
78.
Premier jeu de rôle, 1978.
So we have been around since basically the beginning. And an amusing story is the person who had the very, very first copy out of the printer of the original Dungeons & Dragons was Greg Stafford, who was just handed a copy of it.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been around since basically 5 minutes after.
and I born 1 year before, so I've quite the same age with Chaosium. We talk about Seven Seas, Secret of the Seven Seas in French, and we just see the new version with a Kickstarter.
Correct.
And that's always with Chaosium.
Okay, so the Kickstarter was originally done by John Wick Presents, which is John's company.
Okay.
He ran into some difficulties fulfilling the Kickstarter, and we went out and we have helped him out to pick up and fulfill the Kickstarter and then bring that entire line with John into Chaosium. So John is now part of Team Chaosium and is a fantastic guy to work with.
Okay.
Donc pour Secret of the Seven Seas, qui vient d'arriver sur Kickstarter, il s'agit effectivement à nouveau de Chaosium qui a embarqué toute l'équipe originelle avec eux et qui font une réédition du jeu originel.
And I'm very fond of this universe and fond of the old system. I don't have already read the new one, so let's have a see. The other question is about the French RPG.
And this will be your last question.
Is that the last one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm the question master.
That's
so.
great. We're going to have a meeting both to talk about RPG, by the way. So, French players, French role-playing gamers, always look to America with great RPG and the great license and so forth. Do you have, what is your looking on French RPG? Croc, I don't know what, Bitume, and I don't know if you know the French
so
RPG.
like for me, I actually spend a lot of time looking at how French books are put together. So we Americans, we like to think we're fantastic storytellers and are very good at doing that. But when it comes to the visual presentation of the books, the French, frankly, do a better job than most American publishers. And so with the new 7th edition of Cthulhu and with the new RuneQuest and the new Pendragon coming out, we've actually been looking at the French editions on how to improve the standard and the look and the feel of the books. So that's what we look at.
Okay.
Si on compare le milieu du RPG américain avec le milieu français, les Américains ont pour avantage d'être très bons en storytelling, le fait de raconter des histoires, et effectivement ils le font très bien, mais le milieu français est très bon pour l'aspect visuel, graphique, représentatif, et donc Jeff disait à l'instant qu'ils se sont inspirés, notamment pour Cthulhu, de ce qui peut se faire en France, puisque le côté graphic design est inspirant. Voilà, et donc quelque part on a une belle émulsion qui se fait entre ces deux choses. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us.
It was my pleasure. I hope to come back next year.
We hope you come back next year.
We just book 1 hour, please.
I'm there, man.
Okay.
I'm there.
I'm your man.
All right. See you next year then.
Thank you, Jeff.
Goodbye.